The Huns were an enigmatic, multi-ethnic confederation that controlled massive swaths of the Eurasian Steppe between the 1st and 5th centuries AD. They swept in from the east, displacing entire civilizations in their wake. Almost nothing is known of these mysterious warriors, and what few historical accounts survive are predominantly anti-Hun propaganda. To this day, their origin, language, and impact remain shrouded in mystery. The Scourge of God. Attila the Hun has long been known in the West as the Scourge of God. This was propaganda against the pagan king of an empire that stretched from the Black Sea to France. Historian Jordanes referred to Attila as a lover of war, yet restrained in action, mighty in council, gracious to suppliants, and lenient. According to Priscus, he was also a man of his word. From 440 AD onward, Attila refused to attack the Romans, as they paid their yearly tribute of 318 kilograms 700 pounds of gold. Attila was born sometime in the 5th century into a Hunnic royal family. As a child, he was trained in horsemanship, archery, lasso, and military strategy. However, he also mastered Latin and Gothic so that he could do business with his neighbors. Reports describe Attila as dressing simply, without any ostentation. And while he entertained guests with fine meals served on silver plates, Attila ate only meat off wooden planks. Attila the Hoax. In March 2014, archaeologists announced that they had found the tomb of Attila the Hun. Construction workers laying the foundations for a bridge in Budapest discovered an ancient burial chamber. The 6th century sepulchre contained horse skeletons, a sort of meteoric iron, and various Hunnic grave goods, along with human remains. According to historian Albrecht Romstein of Budapest's Laurentius University, the find was absolutely incredible and definitely seemed to be the resting place of the almighty Attila. Slight problem: there is no Albrecht Romstein, and the remains belong to a Chinese Ming-era mummy. The story was a promotional stunt by fake news site World News Daily Report. Ancient accounts indicate that Attila died on the night of his wedding to Gothic princess Ildiko. According to legend, his men diverted a river and buried Attila in the riverbed. The workers were then slaughtered to keep the grave's location a mystery. Hunnic language. According to historian Peter Heather, we do not know what language the Huns spoke and probably never will. Many believe Hunnic was a Turkic language. However, at the time of Hunnic expansion, this language family was restricted to Central and Eastern Asia. Scholars have attempted to analyze the Hunnic tongue through names of peoples, places, and tribes. However, most of these monikers come from a period where Germanic had become the lingua franca of the Huns. Chinese annals state that Hunnic was very similar to the language of the Tuls, a Turkic tribe. Modern Chinese researchers define it as a Proto-Altaic language. The Byzantines claim that Hunnic was the same as the language of the Avars, Bulgars, and Zeglers, the latter of whom claim descent from European Huns. Others believe Slavic speakers are the true inheritors of Hunnic. The reality is that the Huns' enigmatic language is preserved across many Eurasian Steppe tongues. The Hunnic war machine. The Huns were among the most feared horsemen to ever cross the steppes. Their cavalry consisted of horseback archers made up of lesser nobles and their retainers. They wore loosely woven garments and light armor with either sewn-on scales or linked plates. Accounts state that the armor could sustain blows from the front but was vulnerable around the armpits, suggesting a sleeveless design. The majority of Huns were simply equipped. Nobles and mercenaries could afford more outlandish garb and gear. During the 4th century, the Huns pushed westward. First, they encountered the Alans, whom they decimated. The Huns incorporated the few surviving Alans into their ranks and continued on to the lands of the Goths. In the 370s, the Huns demolished the Goths, and Ruthung King Ermaneric committed suicide. The Huns pushed the Goths up to the banks of the Danube, right on the Roman Empire's doorstep.